Namaste. Welcome to the 10-minute yoga session. This session is going to be for beginner to intermediate level practitioner. So we always pray and relax ourselves before starting any yoga practice. So just simply sit down in Sukhasana, breathe in, breathe out, inhale and exhale out. Make yourself comfortable. Now we will start with the warm-up. Interlock your fingers, stretch your palm, stretch in the center. Keep breathing. Make your spine flexible, make it supple. Now bend forward. Make sure your both palm resting on the mat, your forehead resting on the mat. One mistake that needs to be avoided, that keep your hip on the mat. Now again, keeping your palm apart, stretch in the center and then bend forward, keeping your chin on the mat. Your arms should be parallel to your shoulders. Now next we are going to do wrist rotation. Keep breathing. Anti-clockwise. Now the neck rotation. These all joint movement is as important as the practice, so make sure you do not skip this part. Now stand up, bend forward, keeping your knees bended to come into the Parvatasana. So here we have to make the shape of mountain by keeping our palm and feet in such a way that our hip is completely facing in the center. So here I'm going to point out something. If you are not able to keep your knees straight, you can bend it. It is a complete modification. If you are a beginner, you can bend your knees and try to put your heels down. If not possible, you can keep your heels lifted. That is completely normal. So we have to hold Parvatasana for few seconds. The second thing, try to keep your spine straight as much as possible and chin closer to the chest. Your eye level should be at your navel. Keep gazing your navel in the mountain pose. An intermediate level practitioner can also bend forward as much as they are comfortable in the pose. So this pose is both for beginner and intermediate level practitioner. Now keep your knees on the mat, come into the Shashankasana that we have learned in the previous class. This will help you to release all the tension from your thighs. Now again, coming into the mountain pose. Then from mountain, we will go to the Ashtang Namaskar pose. In this pose, we have to drop our chest between the palm. Then from Ashtang Namaskar, we are going to lift into the Cobra pose, that is also called Bhujangasana. Again, going back into the mountain, that is called Parvatasana. Stretching in Parvat, dropping our chest, coming to the Bhujang. We are going to repeat this pose. Exhale in Parvatasana. Drop your knees and chest in Ashtang Namaskar. Inhaling to the Bhujang. Exhaling, going back to the Parvatasana. So these two asanas are completely beginner friendly. You can easily come into the Parvat, and with the support of your knees you can come to the Ashtang and then Bhujangasana. We'll practice it at least 10 times. Make sure you practice it with me. If there are any doubts, you can drop in your comment section. Now, coming to the intermediate students, what they can do is they can go directly into the Bhujang Asana without putting their knees on the mat. So this is a quite advanced practice. So one mistake that usually students perform is they lift their hip while doing in Bhujang Asana. So you have to avoid it. Avoid clenching your neck also. Exhaling in Parvat, inhaling in Bhujang. You can keep your feet apart in Parvatasana when you are doing this intermediate level practice. This is the best practice to strengthen your spine, strengthening your glute, hamstring, calf, your shoulder. Now relax in Shashankasana. Now coming on to the next practice, that is Ashvasanchalanasana. So this first pose is for beginners. They can put their knee down while into the Ashvasanchalanasana. Make sure to stretch your thyroid gland in this pose. Now lift your knee up. Exhale, come to the Parvatasana. Now with right knee, inhale here. Try to keep your back straight. Exhale, Parvat. Now this is for intermediate students who can perform it comfortably. They can come into the Ashvasanchalanasana without touching their knee on the mat or without having any contact with the mat. Inhale, keeping your chest open. Exhale when coming to the Parvat. This is a very good practice for sciatica patient also. Relax in Shashankasana. Try to sit on your heels properly, keeping your head down. Breathe in, breathe out here. We are going to perform Hanuman Dand, that is keeping our feet apart, slightly apart from your palm or closer to your palm. If you are a beginner, you can start with your knee on the floor. Exhale in Parvat. Inhale in Hanuman Dand. Exhale in Parvat. Inhale in Hanuman Dand. At least practice set of 10 repetition with each leg. You can practice along with the video, or you can pause a video and then continue your practice. Make sure the pose should be comfortable. Completely relax yourself in Shashankasana. Now, the next is Santulan Asana, that is stick pose. So you have seen the stick, how it is? It does not have any curve. So just like this, try to keep your hip and your back at one line. Your hip should not be too much above from your shoulder level or not too below. You have to relax in cat and cow pose. Again, come up to the Santulanasana, that is balancing pose, keeping your hip and your back at one level. Now, drop your knees down on the mat. Inhale in cat pose. exhale in cow pose. So these cat and cow mixture will help you to release the stress immediately that is created while doing the pose. If you want to go for intermediate level, you can skip the cat and cow pose and practice Santulanasana for more than 5 times. We are going to end the session with Gomukhasana. Sit down on the floor, keeping your heels apart and away from you. Your left knee will be over your right knee. Legs will be intercrossed, keeping your back straight. Make sure that your both hips should be resting on the mat. If you feel like that your hip is not able to completely rest on the floor, you can use a cushion. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, bring your right arm up and left arm behind your back. Try to hold the pose as long as you can. For beginner level, we will not join our hand. If you are an intermediate practitioner, you can easily join your palm. This will elongate your spine and keep your spine straight. Come to the Sukhasana. We will end the session. Breathe in, breathe out, close your eyes. Relax yourself again. धन्यवाद.